run in the NCAA tournament. Fans on their feet, a full house on hand for one of the biggest games this arena has seen in some time, with the bigger matchups typically held downtown at the KFC Yum Center. Louisville goes to Chloe Chacoin early on, and it's a block for Hannah Sherman that gets the fans something to cheer about on the opening points.
Yeah, and what I love about that play, Chacoin's such a smart volleyball play. She puts Carlson, who we just talked about, one of the top setters in the country, on the floor, forcing SMU to play out of system. So that allowed Blackshear and Sherman to set up that wall of a block that you just saw.
Elise Cabello, the sophomore setter for Louisville, serves here for the Cardinals. The swing for SMU from Jaden Livings. And that one awkward for Chacoin, so maybe an opportunity for the Mustangs here. They go to Livings once again. Was that one touched? It was. It's a kill for Livings and SMU. Jaden Livings, the sophomore from Texas, transferring in from USC, where she had over 200 kills last season and has moved into a starring role. She leads this team in kills this year.
Yeah, brilliant play. She goes cross court twice, changes up her approach there a little bit, and takes a shot down the line for the kill.
Schilling serves for SMU. Blackshear the look for Louisville, and here's Chacoin. Took a lot off that one. Chacoin, the Purdue transfer. Malaya Jones for SMU. She's the other high-profile scorer for this team. A grad student transferring in from Colorado State. This is the third stop of her collegiate career.
Now, that was a little bit of a softer play for Jones. We're going to see a lot of heat from her tonight. She has such a powerful arm and just a powerful overall swing.
And she's on a heater. 10 or more kills in 8 of her last 9 games. So playing well right now as we round into form in conference play. A couple of block touches for Blackshear and Sherman, 2 towering presences for Louisville. Here's Chacoin, goes with both hands. Now Livings scores once again off the high hands of Louisville. And SMU out to a 3-1 lead. They are driving the early going here.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of scripted block and defense right now from SMU. They have 2 blockers, pretty much the last 2 serve-receive plays off Louisville, so kind of knowing where Cabello's going to go. With that being said, Cabello's just now switches up the offense. She puts Blackshear on the outside instead of bringing her up the middle for a 2-ball, and that gave her that one-on-one opportunity to score. So very smart play from Cabello to switch up her offense and serve-receive there.
As Chacoin takes aim from behind the service line. First kill of the night for Blackshear. She, too, playing some of the best volleyball of her freshman season coming into this one. Not just because of the career high she had on Sunday. She's been really terrific the last several weeks. Here she is on the right side this time. Opportunity for Louisville. Cabello sets it to her once again. An overpass. Sherman there. Once again, Sherman, and this time with great effect, and Louisville has scored back-to-back points to pull it even at 3.
Now, 2 heads-up plays by Sherman right there. I would venture to guess as we move along here, both of those sets look a little bit low to me to Blackshear, so I think we'll see a little bit more height over her over here on the right side, and maybe a little faster termination.
Sherman, a steady player for Louisville. Last weekend against Virginia and Virginia Tech, 10 kills, 8 blocks combined. And there's a block on cue. Sherman and Blackshear up for it for Louisville.
Now, Blackshear was over the net so fast, and if you can see a little bit of the theme that's going on right now, Louisville putting a lot of pressure on SMU to play out of system, so they're giving Averi Carlson a lot of balls to defend so that the team has to play out of system, meaning a non-setter setting the play.
Here's Peyton Peterson's first opportunity to put her name in the scoring column, and she does. The sophomore from Iowa who leads Louisville in scoring this year.
She leads Louisville in scoring. She is the single best passer right now in the country, and her serve is scoring more points than anyone else on this Louisville squad.
Here she is again, but this time it is a big block for SMU. Favor Onyanwu with the denial.
I tell you, watching SMU over the season and just watching Favor in the past, she is an incredible blocker. Her strength at the net, but just how fast her hands get over in the spots where she picks to drop her hands. You will see a lot more of that tonight from her. She is an incredible blocker.
Anyanwu with the third most blocks in the ACC coming into play tonight. One of those 5 players on the ABCA midseason National Player of the Year watch list. Another point to the Mustangs here, and just like you would have expected in a top 10 showdown, punch for punch, as you see Anyanwu's numbers. Both last year at USC and this year after transferring in, a big uptick in efficiency and use for SMU. One of the best players in the conference and the country. This time, Peterson able to tool that block to score for the Cardinals.
Yeah, interesting. I'm just sitting here thinking, interesting offensive run to bring Blackshear around the middle again. Her versus Faber. We just looked at Faber's blocking numbers with a front row setter. So I'm anxious to see as the match goes along, do we see Blackshear hit a couple more attempts on the outside against a setter.
Camden Strand there with the first missed serve of the night for either side. Starting libero for Louisville, the junior from Villa Hills, Kentucky. That one from Livings off the tape. Here's Blackshear for Louisville offensively. And Anyanwu. Too much for Cabello to handle.
Yeah, I thought really good block set up there. Both Cressy and Blackshear were able to come in on Anyanwu. It was a little bit of a paintbrush, what we call it. So this set was a little high, and she just barely got her fingertips on it. So I think a diggable ball, but that was a really nice defensive play.
And the aggressive serve from Jayden Livings goes out of play. This is an SMU team, Molly. It's a lot of boom and bust from behind the service line. Livings a good example. She's got 4 aces, but now 27 errors.
Yeah, the serving numbers from SMU, just as far as point scoring, are really incredible, but also the percentage of error are extremely high too. So almost as a receiving team, no matter who you are, say you kind of just ride the aggressive serves out because you know that an error is coming at some point.
Another kill for Peyton Peterson. Kennedy Rogers, a true freshman for SMU, had a swing in that rally. But Peyton Peterson starting to heat up for Louisville.
Yeah, I like this matchup of Peyton Peterson on Averi Carlson as far as an attack versus blocker situation.
Here's Rogers. Strand goes flying. Cabello sets it up for Peterson. Now SMU to Anyanwu. Louisville to Peterson, but it's another block. Favor Anyanwu.
Yeah, you can see on this replay, so Peterson challenges Anyanwu kind of in her strength, right? Like she hits her right in both hands. So I'd like to see her go attack the seam of that block a little bit more, or challenge Averi Carlson. It's a little bit hard to see where the net landed, or excuse me, where the set landed on the net from our view. But that is a tough block to challenge.
Anyanwu preseason all ACC after playing significant time last year at USC, one of a pair of USC transfers in this one. There's Kara Cressy getting the kill for Louisville. She's coming off of a career high as well, 16 kills against Virginia.
Yeah, I think Cressy's going to be a big part to this offense. You know, Louisville has so many tools to their offense, and I really love, we've talked about this a lot this year, I love the ability to be able to move Cressy inside and out on that slide.
Kara Cressy, an All-American. 10 or more kills 8 times this season. 2-time ACC Defensive Player of the Week award winner. On pace for another All-ACC, All-American type campaign. Cabello has to go with the right hand there. Had to turn for that ball. And it results in an SMU kill from Kennedy Rogers.
Great shot by Kennedy right there. You can see Cabello's a little bit late on the block, which actually I sometimes like that blocking move from her. She does a really good job of wrapping her hands around the ball and bringing it back to the court, but just a little too late there where Rogers can kind of snap the ball off her fingertips down the line. Chicoine.
And the whistle will award Louisville the point. And that'll bring a couple of players into the match for Louisville, including Molly Wilson. the Washington transfer, who gets regular playing time, but not overly significant playing time for a player who has NCAA tournament experience on her resume. This is the 30th set of her season.
Molly has really incredible serving numbers as well. There's a reason she's in this game, and she finds a way to score points with her serve.
Once again, Rogers getting the job done. Kennedy Rogers, who had 9 kills against Miami last weekend, a .571 hitting percentage in that match. Getting more and more playing time for a true freshman. That was an AVCA Phenom top 8 outside hitter from the state of Texas last year. Missed serve, though, for SMU, ties the score back at 11. Comes from Krista Wilburn. Freshman from Dripping Springs, Texas, who has seen regular action all season long. Did have 7 aces in her college debut against LSU. So has seen success from behind the service line this year. Here's Chacoin for Louisville. Livings sent back by Blackshear. Louisville reacts. Blackshear swings, and Blackshear gets the kill.
Yeah, that's a great swing. Blackshear had to kind of shorten up her approach. Again, I think these sets are a little bit lower than what we've seen to her recently. I think she probably likes a little more height, but that was a really great transition play for her to just get her feet to the ball quickly and snap that to the court.
Jones with a hammer on the SMU right side.
Yeah, I would think that my guess is this is a purposeful matchup for SMU to try to get Jones matched up on Chacoin. So she really went after that seam, high into the seam, to try to challenge the height of the block on Chacoin.
Here's Blackshear picking up where she left off, although the point goes to SMU. So not quite picking up where she left off.
Yeah,
on Sunday.
It was a little bit of a funky view from here. I thought it kind of got in somebody's fingers. Louisville was arguing a little bit that it might have been in, so threw us off a little.
There's Livings. Schran flying with top effort. And then Blackshear. Well, she maybe didn't expect that one, but she gets that one. And credit to Camden Schran for that effort.
Yeah, she laid out on the ground for that one. And Schran is such a big part to this backcourt defense. And the dig numbers that Louisville has right now are incredible. And she is a really big part to that.
There's Peyton Peterson once again. 4 kills for her already in the first set.
And I love this serve from Chacoin to set up that kill. So she goes right at the 2 outside attackers that are standing next to each other and serve receive. Again, second serve attacks the two outsides and serve receive.
Here's Livings. Gets one back for SMU. Jaden Livings leading the way for the Mustangs so far. 4 kills for her on 14 swings. She's got 4 digs as well.
Yeah, Livings kind of saw the little hole there. Blackshear's been great at being a little bit late to get out there and reach her hands over and grab the ball in the block, but Livings could see that space in between the block, the seam in the block, and snaps it cross court for the kill.
Mia Silva serves for SMU. Here's Peyton Peterson again for Louisville. And Livings for the Mustangs, well handled by Peterson. Here she is with the swing once again and scoring once again.
Yeah, you can see Peterson is just always very aware. So much time to just transform and become a totally different team throughout the season.
Cal proving that the ACC has more than just that top 5 or 6 teams. There are other quality volleyball programs in this league.
Absolutely, and when you play at this level day in and day out, you get better. You know, even a loss, you can come out of a match becoming a much better team and learning a lot about yourself.
Cabello nearly got there, but couldn't keep it alive. And it's back-to-back points for SMU out of the timeout.
Now that is a rocket from Livings. And I tell you, when you're having this kind of a serve come to you, you can't even really pass it a target. You almost have to just aim for the 10-foot line and then let the ball come off your arms.
Acrobatic from Cressy there, mid-air. Peterson trying to catch the Mustangs unaware. Terrific effort there from Livings, laying out for that ball. Here's Peterson again, this time a full swing. Schilling flying into the first row of seats back there to keep the ball alive, and a good rally between these two top 10 teams. Blackshear, it'll come back to her, and she'll let it fall out of play. A little nervously there, Calissa Blackshear, but it gets the job done for the Cardinals to pull it even at 16.
I have to say I was a little nervous there too. But I heard Coach yell no on the sideline. So if I'm hearing my coach yell no, I'm going to trust the call and let it go out of bounds. But I definitely looked at the line judge right away to see what the call was. You can see Cabello here going pin to pin. She's not setting Cressy right now, but if you look at who's on the court, she has the best blocker in front of her. So to be able to challenge pin to pin against a front row setter that's blocking and a little bit of a smaller outside that's blocking, I'm guessing that's what her offensive plan is right now. Changes up with Cabello coming front row now.
Freshman Hannah Kinney serves for Louisville. Had 3 aces against Virginia Tech last weekend and has one here.
Hannah's points scoring numbers are incredible too for Louisville. When we talk about point scoring from the service line, it doesn't mean aces. It means how many points your team can convert off of your serve.
Still might be and is back-to-back for Hannah Kinney. What a weapon this true freshman can be for this Louisville program, and has been all year long.
Incredible weapon. So the percentages is what she's serving. It means she's creating opportunities for her team to score. You see 2 aces right there out of the gate, but we've seen throughout the season overpasses. So Middle's able to kill out of an over.
8 seasons at Baylor. She's been a head coach before in her career at Hill College. That's a Division I junior college. But this certainly the top level that she has coached at in her career, at least as a head coach.
Interesting. You see the replay here. Louisville coming out of the timeout, serving libero. I'm a little surprised at that play, but also I think it's important to come out of the timeout and hit your serve, especially after you've scored on your last 2.
Louisville by 1 as we get to the late stages of this opening set. Peyton Peterson. And now Rogers.
Yeah, Rogers just smoked that ball on the inside of the block. So you'll see on this replay, pretty good solid block, but she swings the ball just on the inside of Cressy's left arm. So the defense has to be able to line up around the block, and that's a really sharp angle to have to pick off as a defender.
It was Casey Batenhorst to serve for SMU. Cressy misses.
Yeah, and SMU ready for that play. If you could see, they already shaded towards Cressy's slide, leaving Averi Carlson outside one-on-one versus Peterson. So we'll see what Cabello decides to do out of this serve receive.
And Batenhorst, the senior, serves again, but this time in error, missed ever so slightly at the back there, and Louisville ties it at 19. Neither team has had a very large lead in this opening set.
No, and you know, now 19-19, only 6 points left for each team. Match management becomes really critical.
Overpass, and Cressy there claiming it should have been touched, but the call goes SMU's way, no touch, as that one hit the tape on the swing from Cressy. And Dan Meske not yet going to that green card. So it's the Mustangs with the advantage. Here's Cressy again, and it's a block for SMU.
Yeah, and Camden Tran laying out for that ball there. That's a good high swing.
They're 4 points away from an opening set victory on the road here. Louisville trying to do something about that, and they go to Chloe Chicoine out of the timeout.
Yeah, and to me, this is Cabello's point here. obviously Chicoine nails the pass, but I think Cabello there deciding to bring Cressy in front, so it makes the blockers have to shift into the court a little bit, but you cannot leave Cressy, so it leaves them a little bit late to close to Chicoine, and she drills the kill.
First kill tonight for Chicoine, a player who's had 10 or more kills in 4 straight matches coming into this one. And there's Kennedy Rogers again. The freshman making a name for herself in this top 10 matchup. She has been very active and very efficient as she heads to the bench to plenty of celebration.
And I'll tell you what, we just saw a mirror image of offenses. So SMU brings around Newsom in front, pulls Cabello in, and she's extremely late to close on Rogers.
There's Chicoine. Didn't go with the full swing there, just guided the ball down toward the floor, and she's starting to get going for a Louisville team that needs her to get going in this opening set.
Yeah, just over the setter, who is pulled up behind the block to take the tip, throws it just over her head out of her tip coverage range.
Blackshear, a good reaction. Here's Chicoine again. Livings off the hands of Peyton Peterson. And SMU 2 points away from the opening set.
And that's a rotation I'm sure Louisville would like to see themselves stay in a little bit. Cabello scoring a lot of points from the service line. You bring Blackshear right back into the match. You'd like to keep her up front in the blocking.
Jordan Schilling, the senior from California, transfer from High Point, back to serve. Another difficult pass, but Blackshear with that long arm on the left side, able to finish that one off.
Yeah, I like this play. I would keep her on the outside in these couple rotations until SMU stops her. They figured out the 2-ball in the middle, so I would keep her out there and let SMU's block. Sometimes just one tiny change like that is just, it's hard when you've practiced for something or your eyes are looking for something specific to be able to play out of that defensively.
Here's Blackshear again, had to adjust for that one. Got a piece of it, Trend over her head, falls to Peterson. And here's a chance for SMU. They go to Jones. Was it touched? It was. To the groans of the sellout crowd at Ellen Federal Credit Union Arena. But it looked like a good call from our angle, and Dan Meskey seemingly agreeing. He's not going to his challenge just yet.
Definitely a great call. That ball was touched.
And SMU on set point. That one very close. It goes long on the call. And the SMU fans pleading their case. And Sam Erger immediately going to the green card to challenge. That one was very close.
Yeah, my guess without even seeing a thing is that ball is in. But we'll see. And you can see tonight SMU really putting a lot of their serves on Cameron Schramm.
SMU is challenging that ball was in.
The voice of Young Park challenging that the ball was in SMU. And good
Tough
look
view
there. Well, you and I contradicted each other.
Yeah, we contradicted. I think it's hard from this angle because you're behind the line. Oof, that ball's in. But you almost need it almost straight on the line, and I'm not sure Louisville has any cameras straight on the line.
Very quick review.
After review, ball was in. SMU wins the point.
And that ends the first set. A correct challenge from SMU. The ball was in. Maybe the Cardinals need her to step up a little bit as well. And Wilburn gets the second set underway for SMU. Here's Sherman right out of the gate. They go to her immediately, and Hannah Sherman takes care of that one.
Do you have a mic over to the bench or what? I mean, you called that one right out of the gate.
You know,
nice call, Jeff.
I'm just following the shots that I'm given. So credit to our director there, Jay Johnson. Here's Livings. Now Blackshear. And an acrobatic play there in the air from Newsom to just get a hand to that one. Blackshear off the high hands of Livings.
But I love that set to Blackshear. She's one of these players, to me, the higher the better. And Chicoine gets here a broken play and just launches the ball up into the air. She takes those long levers out and scores immediately.
Louisville able to react to that shot from Jones. Here's Newsom from the middle, and that's an error. And Louisville on a run to open the second set.
Now, and Newsom is one that we haven't seen a lot from so far in this match. I'm sure SMU is going to find a way to get her going.
Here's Jones. That was Chicoine who reacted to it. Diving pancake from Schilling, and then Livings with the kill.
Yeah, Livings just hammered the seam right there. I'm not sure the block was completely over the net, so when the ball goes down that fast in the seam, the attacker has beat the block from the timing of their hands crossing the net. So she was able to sneak that ball right through the seam of the block.
Jaden Livings, the ACC Offensive Player of the Week earlier this month. Back on October 8th, the player that had a strong season at USC, but has moved into a starring role with 3 double-doubles this season for SMU, has eclipsed 20 kills twice this year. And so far tonight, she's leading the way for SMU with 7 kills on 19 swings, along with 5 digs.
Yeah,
on her way to another double-double.
19 swings with the next closest, I believe, being at 7 attempts. So she's taking a lot of volume and producing at a high level.
Blackshear has been very active. You see the efficiency that she was able to put on display on Sunday in a 4-set win over Virginia for Louisville. That a career-high 20 kills. She's on her way to those kind of numbers again tonight. 6 kills for her, nearly 300 hitting percentage. Hannah Kinney comes in. We saw her with a couple of aces in the first set, but this time she serves an error. Kinney, the freshman from Illinois, was a JVCA All-American at her club, First Alliance, before coming to Louisville this season to play college volleyball. Here's Cressy. She and Peterson go up for it, and it's on Yanwu, who sends it back to score for SMU.
Yeah, and Anyanwu kind of came out of nowhere on that play. So when you're that tight at the net as an attacker and you're going up to play an overpass and you don't see anyone, then Anyanwu kind of comes out of nowhere and throws her hands over a little bit late. It's tough to see.
Peterson, that one hit the tape. Didn't hit a hand, it hit the tape. And SMU has climbed back to even at 4 after Louisville rode an early wave of momentum in this set.
Yeah, and I think looking for another attacker to really step up. I think Blackshear's doing a nice job right now. But need a little bit more versatility in the offense and kind of finding their groove and scoring again.
Livings, the block touch from Cressy. Here she is again, Livings. Cabello. From setter to setter. Cabello tries to score for Louisville. Averi Carlson does score for SMU.
Yeah, Anyanwu got a piece of Cabello's tip there. If you can see, Cabello changes up just a little bit on how she jumps to go get the set, which tips off Anyanwu. She's dumping and gets a little touch on the block there. And you can see the replay there of Carlson going up and hitting high, hands off Peterson for a setter kill. Carlson,
the 20th kill of her season. Averages about 1/3 of a kill per set, so a kill a match or so. And she's got her kill tonight. Back-to-back service errors from either side.
You know, this is such a strange dynamic to be in volleyball, and you can feel this in any match across the country. So we're just tied. SMU goes up 1 point there on that service error. But the dynamic in the gym does not feel like this match is tied at all. It's a very strange, emotional element to the game of volleyball that I think makes it so unique as a sport.
Jaden Livings with the ace. There are the emotions on display from the Louisville fans. Pensive looks from the Cardinal faithful. They've seldom seen their team lose here. Just 2 losses in L&N Federal Credit Union Arena since 2020. And back-to-back aces for Jaden Livings. And SMU starting to take control in set 2, already up a set to none. And that one hit the bottom third of the net on the top spin serve from Jaden Livings. Had just 4 aces coming into this one, 26 errors. But she had a couple of aces there in a row to put SMU ahead by, in this match, a comfortable margin of 3.
And Livings this season has kind of been switching up her serve a little bit between the spin and the float. Both scoring the spin extremely tough, just a little bit higher.
The power from Anyangwu.
And Coach Erger had talked a bit about Anyangwu's development on the slide and creating this offensive weapon for her. She's been doing so well with the slide that they've really enjoyed it, and even have switched up their middles from time to time in some matches to create that offense in her toolkit.
Beatenhorst serves. Chicoine. A joust, and it's won by the Cardinals. And it goes, it's a net violation, in fact, against Louisville. Despite the celebrations, the call goes SMU's way, and the point goes SMU's way. Sherman. That one hit the antenna off the hands of Rogers.
I like that offensive run there by Cabello. I think, finding some creativity in the offense. One thing I thought she had done a really great job earlier in the season, as we watched, is repeating to hitters to create some success. Finding some opportunities to create one-on-ones for her attackers. And so maybe, doing some things a little bit different to help build some confidence. Even keeping Blackshear on the outside a few times, I think, has been really successful. Also, Louisville really needs her serve from the end line. She is such a great server and puts a lot of pressure on teams. So having her hit for the rest of the match is going to be really important.
Jones. Malaya Jones has been relatively quiet, given what she is capable of doing. That her 4th kill tonight, 2nd behind Livings. But SMU ahead by 5 on enemy territory. Look at the effort from Rogers. Chicoine. And Schilling couldn't keep it alive. Livings, too, diving for it. Chloe Chicoine with the kill.
Yeah, and I love Chicoine comes out of that swing with just a ton of passion back to her team, kind of, trying to get them pumped up, trying to get them going. I think she took a really good rip there. That first set to Sherman was a little low, so hard for her to kind of get on that and really take a big swing, but able to play out of it and finish with a kill from Chicoine.
And that emotion from Chicoine, something her head coach Dan Meskey spoke about this week, saying that she has taken steps as a leader on this team. Coming in out of the transfer portal from Purdue, she bided her time, just found her footing in the program, wanted to find her way, and now Dan Meskey says that Louisville is seeing the authentic and genuine version of Chloe Chicoine, which is to say she is a leader. And Louisville, the other leader, the statistical leader, Peyton Peterson there, the sophomore with the kill. And the Cardinals climbing back in this set. SMU goes to Jones. Now Blackshear, and that's in.
Yeah, I knew out of Cabello's hands, the set that she just gave Blackshear was going to be a kill. Just a beautiful set, right height up to her. You can see that Chicoine is causing a lot of disruption. She's dropping this serve short into middle of the court, not necessarily to make the middle pass, which Newsome's had to, but to try to take Jones out of the equation. So it's turning Jones's line of approach and her ability to be able to transition over to her spot. It's made it really difficult on her.
She finds success here, though, to end that 3-0 Louisville scoring run. Player who was the 5th highest in kills in the country last year at Colorado State with 567. You talk about impact transfer portal additions. The top 10 scorer in the country joining SMU this season and having an all ACC type season. Livings is first to that one in the air and is able to score off the hands of Cabello. And as a matter of fact, now the call goes to Louisville.
Yeah, a net call there on the attack off SMU. So it looked like a great swing, but she's in the net a little bit. We'll watch the finish here on her attack. Oh, just barely right fingertips, and then you can see as she comes down her chest into the net. So yeah, she kind of disrupts a little bit of Sherman's landing and whatnot there too.
The initial call was to SMU, as you saw, but the officials get it right in the end. And Livings working up a sweat, and deservedly so, given the success she's had working on a double-double. 7 and 7 so far. Here's Jones. Black sheer. It'll come to Peterson and Cressy. Maybe those two could have communicated there. No communication needed on the block from Cressy, though. A player who moved into the top 10 all-time for Louisville in blocks last week has one here. And there's Cressy smashing the overpass to pull Louisville even at 13 apiece. And her dad loves it.
So you can see again the serving strategy that Louisville has changed here a little bit, going short into this bunch over here in SMU serve receive to try to disrupt Jones.
Livings with authority. And this second set starting to feel more like a heavyweight fight. Big swings, big punches, so to speak, for both of these top 10 teams. That one will hang up for Peterson, who had to wait on it, but then is able to score.
Great shot by Peterson. You can see how high up there Anyanwu is, though. She's able to kind of snag that ball. Possibly she lets that go. She did have an off blocker right underneath the block to be able to cover that, but she is way up there on the block.
14 all in the second. Here's Hannah Kinney. Jones took a lot off that one. Chacoin goes diving for the dig. Livings the swing. Chance for Louisville. They go to Cressy. The energy in L&N Federal Credit Union Arena is high because the Cardinals have roared back to take a 15.
She is going to score for you. I love that about her attacking.
Jones, a player who is also very likely to score frequently for SMU, but unable to do it here. Peyton Peterson is able to do it for the Cardinals, and Louisville continues to roar back in the second.
Yeah, this is an interesting block setup here. If you see, they leave Peterson a lot of line for that attack. That's a lot for your backcourt defender there, and right back to have to defend.
Livings, but Schilling diving to keep it alive. Livings will have another crack at it. Peterson. And the whistle goes Louisville's way.
So a little different shift of momentum in the arena that you can feel these last few points. It's amazing just the psyche on players, and you know how you coach your team through those moments is really interesting because you don't have to do anything different, right? You don't want your team to feel like they have to do something monstrous or just superhuman to have to change that feel of momentum. They really just have to do what they always do, what they've trained to do. So as a coach, what's your messaging in those moments, especially in a match like this when you know that you are evenly matched with the person that you're staring through the net eye to eye at.
Jaden Livings maybe over matching Louisville right now. That powerful kill. There's Cressy with precision to the back corner on the slide.
Yeah, you know, a little faster slide set to Cressy than we've seen too. She usually likes that higher setter. That's been the system that we've seen so far, but you can see the height of this set has a much flatter arc to it. So she doesn't have to hit that ball down and hard. She just swings and smacks it back into the deep corner. Really hard to defend.
Chicoine. Tooling the block, Chloe Chicoine. Off the hands of Anyanwu. And SMU takes a timeout with Louisville ahead by 4 in the second set. The box score on this one living up to the billing, living up to the hype. The big players are performing for each team, including Kara Cressy for Louisville.
Great vision by Cressy right there. From our angle, we can see this slide set gets pulled off the net just a little bit. Still a very hittable ball, but it looks like maybe Anyanwu overruns the set just a little bit. And Cressy, just great vision to grab that ball at the tape.
Nearly another block for Louisville, but SMU able to scramble it back. Look at Chicoine crashing into the scorer's table. And it's Cabello in the end. What a point for Louisville. Look at that effort, Molly. That's the kind of intensity you want to see in a top 10 showdown in the ACC.
Absolutely. And one thing Coach Mesky had talked about previously, and you feel like you know, in non-conference play, you have some time to learn a lot about your team, to try some different lineups, to kind of see, you know, what team you have for the season and what they're going to become. And he definitely learned that he has a gritty team that he's working with. So grit all the way right there. Chicoine slamming into our table.
A block. It's Louisville by 7 in the second set. And the roof hitting 100 this set. And Louisville hitting 1 for 3, 333 so far in set 2. And Jaden Livings landed right on that ball awkwardly. It came down off the block so quickly.
I think she said, "I'm okay." I'm not sure. It's an ankle.
She's up quickly.
Maybe.
With a grimace on her face. And that is painful.
And I'll tell you what, this is one of those things that you just don't like to see it.
And a big hand from the crowd here at L&N Federal Credit Union Arena. Livings has been terrific tonight, and you'd hate to see a player of her stature have to step out of the game due to injury. As we get a look at how it happened, it was a block from Louisville with Cressy and a just awkward landing there from Livings. It came down at the same time that she was coming down. Nothing she could really do about it.
Oh, it almost looked like a slide, or like her feet slid out from under her. Actually, that was very unusual looking compared to any type of rolled ankle situations that you normally see in volleyball. That was very different looking. It was almost like she lost her footing under her a little bit. Very strange, but play goes on, and you know, this is what, you know, makes teams, and injuries happen throughout the season, and that's why, you know, as a player, that your mindset, no matter if you have a starting role and you're taking 28 attempts, the highest attempts in a match against the number 4 team in the country, or you're the person that's training every day against Livings, getting her better and preparing, you have to have that mentality to work hard every day, because you never, ever know when your number is going to be called upon. You just don't know.
And on cue, Madison Shear's number is called upon, the Auburn transfer from Nebraska. And she comes in with an ace immediately. Played just 1 set last weekend against Florida State. Didn't play at all against Miami. and called into action here due to injury and gets an ace right out of the gate, but an error to back it up, and Louisville gets the point back. And now for SMU, the question will become, how long does Jaden Livings sit on the bench? Is she able to come back into this match? The pain evident on her face. And an SMU without Jaden Livings is a very different outfit than they are when she is on the floor. Still, there's talent out there like Rogers, who's been active tonight. Molly Wilson with a couple of touches for Louisville. And then Carlson scores the setter once again for SMU.
Yeah, in this match, we've seen a little bit, we haven't really talked about it much in this match, but we certainly have talked about it as kind of a descriptor, a defining element of this Louisville team is ball control and just the poise and composure of ball control. But a lot of quick touches in this match that has sped some things up and forced the offense to be a little bit faster, I think, than sometimes wanted. So I'd love to see them to get back into a rhythm where they're putting that first contact, no matter who it is, passing, defending, high into the center of the court.
You've talked about this a lot, Molly, but the setter going back to the same offensive player back-to-back times, and this time Rogers a full swing the first time, this time takes something off of it, and it's off the tip of the Louisville block and down for an SMU point.
Such a smart play, and when you know the arm speed and the firepower that she brings, you know, the natural reaction is to kind of sit back and ready for her to just rip away, but she just delicately touches that ball over the net to score.
And Louisville with a set point opportunity here that brings the fans to their feet. That would even the match at a set apiece between number 8 SMU and number 4 Louisville. Rogers. Chicoine first to react. Blackshear is denied, but it goes out of play. And that will
control to at least be somewhere inside the 10-foot line, but I think there are some spots where SMU can build on to try to overcome the little bit, you know, not a little bit, but the speed bump that they're faced with.
And on cue, there is Jones to score the opening point of the third set. But it'll be key for SMU to keep those other players active and effective, namely Kennedy Rogers. You mentioned Newsom, maybe Krista Wilburn as well. Could offer some offensive firepower for SMU. They don't want to become one-dimensional here where you know that number 1 is going to be the target every time, because that'll make it easy for Louisville's heralded and ACC leading block to get into the act. Back-to-back kills for Jones. She says, I can carry the load myself.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's what we were just talking about. They're going to have to use her a little bit more and get her involved, and then that will also free up some stuff, right? Like once you get her involved, she has a couple of big swings. It will then open up your offense a little bit more to be able to set some other players.
Blackshear with the swing for Louisville, but it's too long.
That's a fast set for Blackshear to get her arms onto. She has such long arms, but also a very long arm swing. So she needs a little more time to get the whole body around and up on top of the ball.
Great effort from Schran, but it's an ace for SMU, and the Mustangs on a 5-0 run to open the third set. Schilling with the ace.
Yeah, and Schilling's point scoring from the service line has been tremendous for SMU. One of their better point scores from the service line, creating a lot of confusion and, you know, kind of jumbled up plays.
Schilling, a high point transfer, the Big South Libero of the Year last year. Another impact portal addition for a program that relies on the portal and has relied on the portal with great success over the years. Jones, another kill, and SMU galloping, striding to the lead in the third set.
And that's what I love about Jones. You know, mentioned it just before, her comfortability, right? I don't know her, didn't know her through the recruiting process or anything, but just watching her play, she is such a comfortable, composed, confident type player. She does get her moments of getting really excited and hyped up and getting her team hyped up, but one that watching, I can...
Will have to pick up the workload, and so too Schiller. Another ace for Jordan Schilling, I beg your pardon. And Schilling pumped up, firing the fist through the air in celebration. It's 7-0 SMU.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about Louisville's serving strategy in that last set, but you can definitely see SMU making sure that they're putting that ball on Camden Tran.
Chicoine trying to score for Louisville, but SMU reacts very capably. Here's Chicoine again. Was it touched? It was. A point to Louisville to end the SMU run. And to be sure, Molly, Louisville has talent and experience. We've talked about SMU in the transfer portal. Chloe Chicoine, a big portal addition for Louisville. Player with over 1,000 kills in her career. She hit that mark last weekend between Purdue and here Louisville. She will not be fazed by that early SMU run.
Absolutely not. And a player that has taken a ton of swings. You know, she took a ton of swings for Purdue in her time there. I know how familiar with how Coach Shondell trains, so I'm certain she took a ton of swings in training and in practices, so definitely no fear from her to swing away.
Blackshear scores for Louisville and needed point for the Cardinals as Jones went to the bench for that rotation for SMU. Block touch for Louisville with Cressy and Blackshear. Peterson. Another Cardinal point.
Yeah, you know, every team is different. Every player is different. I love a little bit more time for this particular team. Peyton Peterson just sees things so well, but you could see that out of system set was launched into the air. So visually, it gives her all the time in the world. She knows she's going to have two blockers up, so it lets her see that block and really attack high, which she just did again in transition.
That one missed Cressy on the pass from Cabello. Those two not on the same page a little bit tonight. And Rogers takes advantage for SMU. Kennedy Rogers, the freshman, continues to make an impact.
She has a very explosive swing, a lot like, you know, very similar to Chloe. Everything is powerful. I mean, a lot of, you know, young players think it's all about the arm and hitting, and it really isn't. It's a full body motion in order to get you the speed and the heat on the ball. Now, the arm has to be fast. That's how you're going to get some speed, but when you make everything else fast, hips, core, shoulder, through the ball, you get firepower like Kennedy Rogers has.
Wasn't so much firepower there for Krista Wilburn, but placement as she hits it down the line for another SMU kill, and the Mustangs continue to play well, even with Jones off the floor for the moment. Look at that hitting percentage difference between the two in this set.
Oh, I thought I saw a touch too.
Louisville was claiming for a touch. They plead to their head coach, Dan Meskey, and he seems to disagree from his vantage point.
Yeah, that was
Although
a quick,
he does say now he's going to challenge it. We could hear him from here.
I was going to say, that was a really quick reaction from all of the players. It just means nothing more than it's a natural reaction. So my natural reaction was that there was a touch there immediately too. But this could be one, could be tough to see.
Louisville is challenging that there was a block touch.
You heard the voice of Young Park, who will have the task of reviewing this one on the monitor. And this is one of those where maybe Dan Meskey challenging to show support to his team, because they were very convinced as a group that there was a touch here on the Peterson swing.
Yeah, I think I saw some fingers move too. Yeah. I believe it catches the left, like middle or ring finger of Carlson, but we'll see. That the other shot was a little bit easier for me to see.
This might be the best look. I'm not so sure, Molly, that there's enough evidence to overturn it, because that is the question, if they can clearly see that the call on the floor was incorrect. We'll see, though.
We will see.
I would imagine this will be a lengthier review. given the angles that we saw. And it's a matter of, to your point, seeing if Carlson's finger bent back at all when the ball came through. And for me, it's just hard to tell, but I
liked the other view better from behind, but I am by no means a professional at this. I'm just a professional at critiquing the R2 on their ability to do the reviews.
Were you one that would get in the ear of the R2 after something like this?
No, not too much, but we had a really good system of kind of showing some replays and being able to see it. Now, in Big 12, you were only allowed to show what the R2 could see.
Here's the call.
After review, call stands. Point
Call
SMU.
stands. So a failed challenge from Dan Meske, who wants an explanation.
Yeah, that one's tough for me. I thought I saw on the there's a couple different shots at the beginning, but that second shot from behind, I thought I saw a little bit of a finger move. I do not envy that position one bit.
So it's SMU by 8. Blackshear trying to start the Louisville rally to cut into the lead.
And that's the set for her. I think that's the set she has to have. That ball up in the air again, you know, out of Cabello's hands, that it's pretty good chance Blackshear's going to score for you.
Blackshear with 11 kills, Peterson behind her with 10. The two players in double figures for Louisville. Living's the injured player, the only player in double figures for SMU. And Yanwu with the attack for the Mustangs, and then Peyton Peterson goes long with that shot. And 11th attack error on the night for Louisville.
Yeah, the bit we saw in that second set is, you know, error management a little bit better from Louisville, and really there were hardly any that brought them back into the match, changed the momentum, really shifted the dynamic of the match.
Cressy with the left hand after Cabello had a full swing at it. Can Schramm get there? She can. Will her teammates be there as well? They will with Kenny. And a big cheer from the crowd for that effort. But in the end, it's Newsom with the kill for SMU.
Yeah, good to see her get involved. Such a dynamic player in the middle and likes the quick set. So alternatively, what we were talking about with Blackshear, anything touched nice and high and fast. She has an incredibly high slugging percentage, like incredibly high kill percentage.
First kill of the night for Newsom, who has over 100 on the season.
Her shoes are still on. Knee pads still on.
Here's Peterson. Took a lot off that one. But it's a block for Louisville in the end.
Great block, and you can see the Cabello there kind of make an adjustment. She sends Cressy on the inside of the court. That sets set on the inside, right there on the inside of the Cardinal Bird's shoulder there. So Cabello moves Cressy in to help set up to get that block there.
That one into the net from Newsom.
But what I liked about that is that Cressy was ready for that.
There you see Jaden Livings on the bench. She's back to the bench out of the locker room for SMU. Clearly an ice pack on that left ankle after she landed on a ball with her left foot. So she's unlikely to return, at least at this juncture of the match. But SMU right now looks like they don't need her. Newsom with the block. It's the Mustangs by 8. And a block for Louisville from Cressy. Kara Cressy now with a team high 5 blocks for Louisville, who trail it by a touchdown, 14-7 in the third set. Overpass, Chicoine, Newsom reacts. Opportunity here for Louisville though. Cabello with the left hand.
I love that play. It's almost, you watch her go up, so you can tell a little bit taking off that she's probably about to dump, but I could almost see her and feel her look just split second, no one there, so she's able to forcefully throw it to the ground. If one of the block had kind of shaded over to her, she wouldn't be able to do that. So really great peripheral vision there.
Here's Jones back into the action. Chicoine. And that one off of Schilling into the 4th row of the seats.
I'll tell you what, if you watch Sherman's transition here too, really incredible. She gets off the net quickly, just takes a step close to try to be up and show the middle blocker that there's another attacker approaching, which holds SMU's middle just a little bit to give Chicoine that space to rip for the kill. So really hard work. Middles have a lot of work to do in a match that you can't always see, right? They're blocking pin to pin. They're responsible for setting up the block. They're responsible for all 3 attackers, maybe an additional attacker if it's a back row attack. And then they must be available in transition to hit.
And that one falls out of play. Perhaps luckily for Louisville, that one looked, had it been in, would have been an awkward bounce to give a point to SMU, but Louisville storming back in the set. It's a 4-0 Louisville run to cut the SMU lead to 4. Where does SMU turn with Jones off the floor offensively? It's Shear into the match who had that swing. Louisville goes to Chicoine. Rogers down to the floor but can't keep it alive. And Louisville continuing this run, forcing a timeout from SMU.
Trying not to pump her too much, and you know, it happens in a season. So it's just all about responding, and I think, you know, the message now isn't about winning or losing the match. It's just about responding in adversity, and what can your team do right now, having your 2 top players sideline.
Louisville finding success from its ACC leading blocking game. It's the 9th block tonight for Louisville, nearly doubling up SMU, who's the 4th best blocking team in the conference. And now Jordan Schilling apparently a little shaken up as she points to the floor. Maybe she slipped, to speculate. And things starting to unravel a little bit for SMU, and she looks like she's going to cut it out as we get a look at what happened. Schilling with the effort, going for that play, and just took a little tumble. It's a 6-0 Louisville run. They trail it by 2. Jones back in, and Louisville equal to it. Newsom with power from the middle.
Yeah, and that's what she's best at, finding that gap over there in the 3 zone to split the 2 front row blockers, and everything is so fast. The set is fast, she's up in the air fast, the swing is fast. You almost in transition, if you know a player like that and the tendencies of a team, you almost have to commit on a set that's that fast.
Service error for SMU. Natalia Newsom, a player, by the way, coming into this match hitting .476 on the season. Just over 100 kills for her year coming in. So maybe with Livings out and Jones battling something, Newsom can pick up the slack. 2 for 7 for her tonight. Here's Jones. And again.
Yeah, I'd love to see it from Jones. You know, I have such a vivid memory playing in college myself of a teammate in the middle of competition running over and grabbing the garbage can and running back out. And, you know, it says something to your team as long as you're not, you know, holding anyone back or causing any disruption, but that you're going to say, hey, listen, just let me fight through this and I'm going to battle till the end for you on the court is huge. And you need someone of her caliber and her ability to score doing that.
That one tipping out of play from Jones for a Louisville point to pull the Cardinals to within 2. And on a night where Livings went down, for her to gut this out when her team needs her, most of all, the character and the determination from Malaya Jones on display tonight for the Mustangs. Here she is again. Took a lot off that one. Louisville scrambling, and Cabello slid over the line. And it's not the hammer from Jones this time that causes Louisville problems. She's showing the array, the arsenal.
Absolutely, and it's tough. You know, everybody's system is different for that type of tip that's just over the block, whether you expect your blockers to land and play that ball or if you expect your backcourt to come cover that tip. But if the blockers take it, they really have to pop that ball up in the air to give the setter or second contact time to come get it.
You pointed that set out last time we saw it from Cabello Blackshear, the exact same ball, and Blackshear with the kill.
It's fantastic. It's almost like you can see out of her approach that, you know, that like, oh, that's the set type feeling, and just going up with she keeps her to keep her timing and everything in line and in rhythm.
Rogers with the swing there. It comes off of Cressy's hands, but on Louisville's side of the net. And SMU with a 3-point advantage now. They're hanging on to this lead, trying to cling to it all the way through the third set.
Rogers, 7 kills on 22 attempts with no errors, hitting .318. It's just incredible.
Cressy with the throwdown there at 6'6", the long arms reaching high to get behind that ball.
So great, and good timing to run Cressy there on that gap play that we've talked about. You have a front row setter. You know, it's kind of 50-50 if the setter is going to help on that block or not, and even if they do, what height are you going to get on the block? So Anyanwu not being able to stop Cressy on that swing, but it flips back over to SMU for a quick side out.
And it comes from Krista Wilburn, the freshman who was the ACC Freshman of the Week back in early September. Maybe she can pick up some of that Livings slack. Peterson off high hands and into the first row of the stands for the kill.
Yeah, that right there is an in-sync moment of setter and hitter. Right, Peterson knew exactly what set she was going to get. It was completely different than the high ball that I told you earlier that she would really love. But she knew the set she was going to get, and her timing matched that set perfectly, and just a quick rip for the kill.
Chicoine. Carlson will come back to Newsom. Kenny there for Louisville. Here's Chicoine again with another Louisville kill, and they've pulled to within 1.
Yeah, a lot of displacement there. So Cressy gets stuck at one point, can't get up in transition. Chicoine actually is inside the court running a 2-ball in the middle with no one on the outside, and then able to recover and send a beautiful transition ball out to her on the outside for the kill. I like swinging high and hard and deep to the middle back against SMU and forcing their outsides to play some defense.
Chicoine 8 for 20. Look at Jones flying high, but hitting in error. Trying to go line and couldn't find what she was looking for. And Louisville, having trailed 7-0 at the start of the set, has pulled it all the way back level at 19 apiece. And it's a Louisville lead on a second successive attack error.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, I see a lot of missed rhythm plays tonight on both sides. So you can see Jones take off and kind of have to slow down to stop her approach. Just maybe a little bit of missed timing between setter and hitter. And sometimes the pass can cause that. If the pass is sped up and really fast, it changes the timing of the offense.
Wilburn with the kill to pull it even at 20. Ends a 4-0 Louisville run. And this set is well poised. Teetering on the edge. In a match that's teetering on the edge. One set apiece. Cressy. The roar of the crowd is all you need to know.
Yeah, that's a good swing there. SMU ready for that slide from Cressy. They send two blockers with Cressy. Say, hey, we're going to leave Jones one-on-one with Chicoine. She's going to have to take her head-to-head. And Cressy still comes out with the score.
Molly Wilson back into the match to serve for the Cardinals here. It's Jones. This time able to score after a couple of attack errors earlier in the set. Malaya Jones now surpassing the injured livings to lead the way with 12 kills for SMU. And some nervous looks around L&N Federal Credit Union Arena. What else could you want between number 8 and number 4 in the ACC? This match living up to the hype right now. The Cardinal fans are fired up. The Mustang fans have their hands on their heads, watching what looked like a sure set slip from their grasp. Jones sent back by Sherman, but Newsom there. Rogers is denied by Hannah Sherman.
That is such an unbelievable block. What I love about that is the adjustment that Blackshear stops just short, right? Gives the tiniest bit of line, because what we've seen Rogers do all night is hammer the cross court. And she's hit almost every bit of that sideline cross court tonight. So
a 20-match home winning streak for Stanford earlier this year. Just a couple of weeks ago in California. Louisville 2 points away from a commanding 2-1 lead. And Chicoine shaken up. The call goes against Louisville with a net violation. And Chloe Chicoine appears to be...
Yeah, and sorry for the jump. That was a very dynamic play at the net with just the two blockers and Chicoine right at the net. There was a lot that could have happened right there. And those plays are always just terrifying.
Yeah, just crashing into Sherman there.
Yeah. And you have Jones flying out of nowhere. You have Sherman coming over to close the block, flying out of nowhere. And Chicoine with as high as she jumps. Just a lot of action. Thank goodness that was just a collision.
And that one's in on the overpass from Rogers to tie it at 23. Does SMU have enough?
Fun player to see live.
Listen to the noise in the arena. 2 points away for either side. As Louisville goes to Blackshear, Sherman had to react, and Chicoine with the swing to get it over. Chance for SMU. They go to Rogers, who scores off the hands of Blackshear on cue, and SMU a point away from a dramatic third set victory.
Now that's a really fast set out here to Rogers, and she takes advantage of the block that's flying out. And as the block is moving out like that to the antenna, if you can catch the hands just right, their body is going to take the ball with them out of bounds.
Chicoine. Where do the Mustangs turn to Rogers again? Blackshear for Louisville. Chicoine. That's in.
Speaking of rising, right? I mean, that's a kill that you need right there from one of your players that has a tremendous amount of experience, because the whole team right then just takes a deep breath and can relax. Such a big swing and such a critical moment for a big swing and an execution, most importantly.
24 all. Here's Jones. Cabello behind it. Schrand sets to Blackshear. And a block for Sherman.
Such a big block. I actually thought somebody on the SMU block was in the net on Blackshear's attack, but no call there, and Sherman picks it right up in transition, picks up on Yanwu in the middle of transition and over quick for the stuff.
Chicoine takes aim. Blocked again to end the third set.
Yeah, I love the coaching.
And they've got a date with Notre Dame on Sunday that may be without Jaden Livings. We saw her on crutches a moment ago. And to start the fourth set, Louisville goes to Hannah Sherman in the middle. And that one took a touch, and it's a Louisville point. And you see what Louisville was able to do, overcoming a huge deficit early in the third set. Right after Livings went down at the end of the second, SMU came out of the break on a huge run, and Louisville overcoming it. But does it break the back of the Mustangs? We'll see if they have a response here. Kennedy, Rogers, I should say, the swing. And Louisville goes to Cressy off the tape for an SMU point.
You can see a little bit of the strategy change, I think, so far. It's only 2 points in the set, so I shouldn't say that. But to go to Sherman out of the gate and serve receive in that first ball, I really like that. We haven't seen that yet. And trying to feed Cressy quick in transition in that 3 zone, I like it.
Blackshear, a block for SMU on Yanwu. And for an SMU team that performs well in the blocking game, maybe that's a way back for them defensively. Peterson misses for Louisville.
Tough miss. I thought maybe she clipped the block a little bit, but it doesn't look like, even if it was overpoweringly so.
Malaya Jones, that is an area of weakness for her. Such a terrific player, Mountain West Player of the Year last year at Colorado State, but her ace to error ratio significantly in the error direction. Over 40 errors to 9 aces coming into this one, and she has a service error there.
And kudos to her for sticking it out. You can see visibly that she's does not feel herself, I think. So kind of taking some deep breaths, keeping herself composed, and staying in this match for her teammates.
Favor on Yanwu with the kill off the Louisville block. The player had 10 kills at Florida State last week, and maybe she needs to step up a little bit more as well. On Yanwu with now 4 kills tonight. Yeah, to your point about Jones, SMU is going to learn a lot about their players tonight. I'm sure they know what kind of person Jones is, but new to the program, coming in out of the transfer portal, she is certainly proving her guts tonight with her star partner Livings out. And Krista Wilburn with the kill for SMU to keep the Mustangs in the lead in the 4th set.
A little bit of a missed opportunity there with the overpass. An ability to score right away, but SMU plays out of that missed opportunity from Louisville and able to score. You know, it's hard. You're talking about Anyanwu's ability to get involved in a match. I think that's the hardest thing with middles, is that you have all this work to do, but you also have little control over how much opportunity you get offensively, you know, and unless the ball control is there, you're not getting set, right? You're usually getting set in pretty good situations in a controlled environment. If the ball control isn't there, it kind of eliminates the ability for you to score. So how do you stay involved in a match when you don't get set or you're not getting set? And blocking is what you can do as a middle, and she is certainly doing that tonight.
Natalia Newsom, the other middle for SMU. She's been quite impactful tonight. That's her 3rd kill, go along with a pair of blocks. And Averi Carlson, by the way, 35 assists now for the reigning ACC Setter of the Week. After having over 50 in the victory over Miami last week, she's on her way to another prolific number.
So really nice blocking move. You can see Wilburn gets all the way out, covers that line on Sherman last second, and just kind of gets her hands over the net.
And another block for SMU. Almost identical to the last one, just from the other side of the court. And it's the Mustangs by 4, doubling up Louisville. This time Jones denying Chicoine. Sherman. Jones blasts it, but long.
She certainly did blast that. You know, she didn't miss by much. It's not a bad swing, and we're early enough in the game. I think that's okay. You know, errors are so much too about timing, and we talk about match management, and a lot of it is timing in the match. But I don't mind that swing from her. She took a big rip.
There's an overpass that Blackshear and Sherman leapt to meet, and I think Blackshear is going to get credit for that one. Yes, indeed, with the right hand, Calissa Blackshear leading the way for Louisville with 13 kills now. And it's back-to-back points for Louisville, back-to-back points for Calissa Blackshear, the true freshman, ACC Freshman of the Week, showing her worth and making an impact in the 4th set. There's a blast from Newsom from the middle.
That's Newsom's bread and butter right there. Her best attack by far is in that gap. See how fast the ball comes out of Carlson's hands. So a lot of it too is not just like location or height of the set, but she barely holds that ball in her hands. As soon as it comes into her hands, it's out and up at Newsom's hand.
The missed serve from SMU, 13th of the night. But once again, this has been the case all night long. Hard to separate these two teams over the course of the set. A block for Sherman.
Yeah, that's a great read. You know, we just talked about Newsom's hit, best hit or highest percentage hit is coming around in that gap. But Sherman was able to pick her up visually in the middle of that play. You can see in this serve-receive rotation, Newsom has to come around the front of the setter, so really great vision from Sherman.
Jones from the right side goes cross court. And she is going to rack up the attempts over the rest of tonight. 33rd swing for her. 13 kills on those 33 swings with 4 errors, a hitting percentage of .273. And you can bet she will get north of 40 in quick succession. Here's Blackshear. And again, scores.
You see that first contact there from Peterson in the broken play. That's the Louisville that we've seen for a while over the course of this season. She puts that ball high enough into the air that not only does Cabello have time to get there with her feet, but she has time to get there and actually make a decision. She's not trapped into setting one way or another, and she sets Blackshear up for the kill.
Cabello behind that one. Here's Peterson. What a point for Louisville. You can just hang it up there for Peyton Peterson, and she'll finish it off.
Absolutely, and what about the dig from Cabello? She sat in there. I think that might be the first, we call that cutback. So when a middle attacker comes across their body and hits back into the right side of the court, it's a cutback shot. I think that was the first dig from the cutback. And now a massive block from Blackshear and Cressy.
Old Uncle Mo is very much on the side of Louisville right now. Cressy's block sends us to a timeout. It's Louisville by 2, leading 2-1. Back in this match, Jones is going to have a star kind of performance, which she's in the midst of right now. And on cue, out of the timeout, Jones with the kill.
Yeah, and to be completely honest with you, I don't even think that's a big ask for her. She loves competition. She rises to the occasion. You know, even the force of which she's getting off the ground with right now, so you can see on her approach, she's still getting off the ground quick and getting up in the air high. And that takes a lot of effort when you're not feeling well or feeling 100%. So you know that she's putting a lot into this, but I think she has no problem of the ask in front of her.
Player that scored over 600 points last year at Colorado State. Started her career at USC back in 2020. A lot of collegiate experience for her. And it's showing tonight, though she can't get to that one. The changeup from Peyton Peterson scores for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and what starts this whole playoff, really nice fast slide set to Anyanwu, but Peterson gets a touch on the block, slows it down for the defense to be able to put the ball up into Cabello's hands and into Peterson's hand for the kill.
An overpass, but Carlson denies Cressy at the net. And a mistake for SMU turns into success.
Yeah, and more importantly, a two-point set right now.
There's an ace for Kennedy Rogers, who has really emerged as an option for SMU, the true freshman. And another challenging serve from Rogers, and another ace. And SMU has tied it at 14.
Yeah, I tell you what, I am so impressed with her as a coach. Every coach knows this. You know, with freshmen coming in, it's tough to really know what level they're going to be able to perform at. Everything is new. Most of the times they're away from home, even if they're just living on campus in the same city where they're from. You're starting classes for the first time ever. You're starting your college championship season for the first time ever. It can be a really overwhelming situation. So to see a freshman performing at this level is so fun to watch.
And as you see, Kara Cressy off the hands of Anyanwu there to score for Louisville, but Rogers. Louisville nearly with a block. We'll get to Rogers in a moment. Peterson out of the back row with some firepower out of the back row.
Yeah, the first time we've seen that all night, and you can see that it caught SMU a little bit off guard. I love this play for Louisville. I love Peterson coming out of the back row. Like I said before, she has such good vision, so I think it's such an amazing element to kind of add into the mix of this Louisville offense.
Peyton Peterson, the daughter of Northern Iowa head coach Bobby Peterson. And a coach's daughter, she is through and through. In terms of what she presents on a volleyball floor, able to do everything. And how about Wilburn as well, in terms of unheralded players who are asked to contribute in a bigger way tonight than they typically would. Krista Wilburn, another true freshman from Texas. She's got 5 kills on 14 swings now to help SMU stay in this set and stay in this match without livings available. Helter-skelter for Louisville, and it goes to Newsom. The sophomore from Arlington, whose dad Tony played football for the Mustangs, making a big impact tonight on the road against number 4. And those two players with big contributions. Another joust that goes the Mustangs' way. Wilburn gets the credit, and it's SMU by 2. Timeout, Louisville. ACC without a conference tournament. Every match down the regular season matters all that much more as you try to impress the committee to earn yourself a high seed and the opportunity to host in the first couple of rounds, as these two programs each did a year ago. Service error to come off the point you were making about the service game tonight for SMU to give the point back to Louisville.
Yeah, and I think we're getting into that point of the timing part of the match. Now you're late in this set. Minimizing errors is really critical.
Natalia Newsom again. An athlete from the middle rising high to blast that ball down. Give her 6 kills tonight, along with 3 blocks. And Averi Carlson will serve. Chicoine. Great reaction from Jones. Here she is offensively. Chicoine again. Was it touched? It was not. And SMU has a 3-point lead late in the 4th set.
It's tough. I thought I heard a touch there on that one. Just straight ears heard a touch, but I'm not sure. And they are going to challenge that.
Yeah, Dan Meske agrees with you, Molly, and without having to go to the card, he verbally challenges this one. And we'll go to the monitors once again.
Louisville is challenging block touch.
And Louisville notably has lost a challenge already once tonight. So if this one goes against them, Dan Meske would be without protest officially.
I mean, to me, it looks like it barely nicks. I don't know. We might have to see a different shot.
Looking
but
at the fingers
I'm looking
of Newsom
at
there,
pointer
yeah.
and middle finger of Newsom's left hand is what I'm looking at. So we'll see. Again, very happy that I don't have to make this decision.
Yes. You talk about pressure. This is a pressure-packed position to be in for Young Park.
Yeah, this is very difficult to tell just because of the graininess, though this might be the best one.
And again, like the last time we were in this situation earlier tonight, it's a matter of evidence. The call stood in that one. In essence, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn the call on the court because you need it to be definitive to overturn the call on the court. And the call, here comes the announcement.
After review, call is confirmed. No block touch.
And not only is it stand, it is confirmed. Seemingly, Young Park saw evidence that the call was correct. And Louisville now without a challenge in a match that is very near going to a 5th set. Chicoine. And now Peterson. Cabello gets it done.
I think the timing of that play is beautiful. It's some quick transition plays, and so the defense isn't quite set back up in their base, so it's hard to have to, if you're still moving while a ball is being attacked, it's near impossible to be able to stop and move back the opposite direction to go get it. That's why so many times on defense, a lot of training is always about being stopped on defense, because that's going to increase your range to be able to play in any direction at any point in time. But that, nothing wrong with the defense there, just a really quick transition play and heads-up play by Cabello.
Schilling calls everybody off, almost like a fly ball there. Here's Chicoine. Jones. Off the block.
Yeah, good close block. I like Sherman's dynamic there in the middle of the transition. Just takes a little split step, which is just as the setter is about to release the ball, she kind of takes a small hop so that the thought process, or the, I guess the physiology behind it, that you can move faster out of movement instead of stagnation, and she gets over to close the block.
There's Kalissa Blackshear, moves herself back to the team lead with 15 kills. Louisville needing a late rally if they want to end this match here. And the freshman Blackshear has been very effective when called upon tonight, as has been the case for a while now for her. A block for the Cardinals, denying Kennedy Rogers, the freshman.
And that is such a huge play in this moment in the match. So a one-on-one, Kennedy Rogers hitting out of this world right now. And Blackshear just makes an incredible blocking move, gets all the way out to the line, drops in on Rogers. I mean, that's what you need teammates to do, is make plays.
Blackshear. Wilburn with her left hand keeps it alive. Rogers. Schrand with the diving dig. Blackshear again. Rogers. Chicoine. And it's a point to SMU.
Yeah, and that ball was over the net. There's no argument for Cabello there. It had crossed the plane of the net, so what they're arguing is that the second contact always gets first opportunity at the ball. You can't take away the set and cross the plane of the net on your opponent to not allow them to set. But that ball clearly crossed the plane of the net.
Chloe Chicoine, a captain for Louisville there, pleading her case to the R1 Carla Bunner on an all-important point. And some boos coming down from the red-clad fans.
So the edge of that ball, we're a little bit on this side of the net. If it were dead center, you would see the edge of that ball cross the plane of the net.
Blackshear turned away. They'll go to her again, and she this time uses the block to her advantage.
And that's the set she needs. I just really love that set for her. Nice and high. Who cares how high? Who cares if she has two blockers on her? She needs that height to get the body going.
SMU by one, late in the fourth. Jones off the high hands of Peyton Peterson to pull the Mustangs to within two of keeping this match going. But notably, Jones to the bench here. Both leading scorers for SMU out of the match right now. Blackshear. It'll come to Peterson. Blackshear again, and a block for Anyanwu.
I like that the second contact by Peterson there. The ball's put up in the air, but I think it's, from what we've seen so far this season, the first
that on the road tonight at a Louisville team in search of what would be their biggest home victory of the season after defeating Stanford on the road a couple of weeks ago. Out of the timeout, Blackshear misses, and that ends the set.
And these five-setters are tough. You almost cut the set in half. You know, you think of like 5 mini games to 5. Well, now you're only 3 mini games to 5. It's over quick.
Peyton Peterson out of the gate in the fifth set with confidence and authority on the left for Louisville, scores with her right hand.
Yeah, and I like this. He moved her inside a little bit on this set. You can see there, just to give her a different look instead of being head-on with Jones. And she takes advantage of it for sure.
Peterson again. A block. Newsom denied by Cressy.
Yeah, and I like that Cressy made the adjustment. And Newsom's bread and butter, we talked about, is in that slot. But that's the shot that she likes when she runs that pattern of footwork. So Cressy really, we say, fronted her. She really fronted on that middle attack that time for the stuff block.
Rogers. Chicoine sets to Blackshear. And a chance for the Cardinals again. This time they go to Cressy. Back-to-back points for Kara Cressy.
Yeah, and that set's high enough for Cressy to get on the ball. I think the first set we saw her hit her statistics through the course of the season. But I tell you, it's impressive to lose one of your big stars and have the response that SMU has had.
Camden Schrand out of the timeout delivers an ace for Louisville.
And talk about responding. SMU has put a lot of pressure on Schrand tonight. They have definitely is clearly in their plan to serve the ball at her as much as possible, and she comes out of the timeout with a big ace.
Jones took a lot off that one. Peterson recovers. Blackshear with the right hand. SMU goes to Jones again, and she puts the Mustangs on the board in the 5th.
Now that's an impressive swing. Another broken play with a lot of quick touches, and that's a lower set than normal. Really fast play and a quick back set for Jones to get her feet to the ball and just kind of swats it sharp cross court.
18 kills for Jones. Cressy, and protests from Jones and on Yanwu result in a whistle that goes against Louisville and another point to SMU.
Ooh, and that's a tough play. You're running Cressy right into two massive blockers in that play. I would almost, in a controlled situation, maybe run her there to either set over her or to get the ball back to Blackshear.
Louisville on its heels. SMU goes to Jones. But the block touch makes a difference here. Here's Peterson. Peyton Peterson scores for the Cardinals.
Speaking of a big block, Peterson powers through that thing. And we talk about big blocks. There's no way you can avoid a big block. If you avoid a block that's over fast, nice and high at the net, the ball's going to go out of bounds. She goes right at that block, high and hard for the kill.
A double-double for Peyton Peterson. She's now had double-doubles in 3 of her last 4 matches. Again, playing some of the best volleyball of her career. Consistent volleyball for the rising sophomore star. And she scores this time off the SMU block.
That was a very smart play in that situation. So tip over the block for a beautiful dig, and Cabello fires that outside. Peterson almost 30 feet, almost the distance of the court sideline to sideline.
Rogers. Chicoine underneath it, but it'll come right back to Anyanwu. Rogers, beg your pardon, Peterson there to keep it alive for Louisville. Chance for the Cards. They go to Cressy on the slide, off the high hands.
I'm telling you, that is the set for Cressy on the slide. Just a little bit of air.
18 kills. Blocked again is Kennedy Rogers. And Louisville closing strong against number 8 SMU.
And I tell you what, there's nobody better that you want at the service line right now than Kenny. And she is just so solid at putting her team in a position to score. And then you see that block. So look how fast in that replay you can see the blocker's hands get over the net. And Cabello knew she had that one when she landed on the ground from that block. She's pretty pumped up on that one.
18 blocks for Louisville tonight. It's a 4-0 Louisville run. And of those 18 blocks, Cressy has contributed 8. Sherman with 9. Blackshear with 8, a career high. And Louisville closing strong en route to another top 10 showdown on national television on Sunday afternoon when number 6 Pitt and Olivia Babcock come to town to resume a rivalry that has been entertainment to the max over the last few years in the ACC. Out of the break, Peyton Peterson, but Jones into the first row to keep it alive. Peterson again is denied by Anyanwu.
Dang, and in my head, as soon as Cabello let that set go, I thought it was the right set, right? The nature of that play kind of shifted the volleyball to this side of the court, so I thought it was a good set. Good decision, I should say. Just tough luck there.
And SMU needs a run. Mia Silva to serve. Cressy. Too strong. Early in this match, it was Louisville errors that gave SMU an advantage in the opening set, which they took, winning the first set 25-22.
So
an error here gives them more life.
Yeah, I would almost run the same play set as what I was going to say. Force.
Cressy. There's some conversation about the call. It's going to be an SMU point.
The ball hit something hit the antenna, either the blocker's finger or the blocker attack. The antenna definitely got whacked. There's no question about that. Let's see. Oh, the blocker grabbed it with her fingers. Can you see that? Yeah, Kennedy.
Looked like it to me, yeah.
Kennedy grabbed the antenna with her fingers, which is of course illegal. So
the officials are in conversation here. Now in the 5th set, Dan Meskey will go to that green card. He feels very confidently that the call should go his team's way, and it might just. The officials all in a huddle over there, but they will stick with the call that it's an SMU point, and Dan Meskey will immediately motion for a challenge as more boos come down. Louisville's lost 2 challenges tonight, gets the additional challenge in the 5th set.
Louisville is challenging that a blocker, there was a contact on the antenna.
Looked like it was clear evidence when we saw it, Molly. We'll see if Young Park agrees with our assessment.
It certainly does. I like that play set and that rotation. You know, force on Yanwu to make a decision if she's going to block outside or right side.
It's almost one where the slow motion makes it harder to judge, because when you go full speed, you can see the antenna. There you go.
Yeah, that's very clear.
I think so. And that's the freshman Kennedy Rogers as well. Fans making some noise. They can sense their team close to what would be a second top 10 win of the season. Again, the call on the floor is that it's an SMU point. And Young Park now making his way over to the microphone.
After the review, player contacted the antenna, which is a net ball, point Louisville. Louisville retains the challenge.
Pretty clear evidence there as well, that hand made contact with the antenna to take away what would have been an SMU block.
Yeah, and we saw a view even clearer than that one that showed her grabbing, not intentionally obviously, but just wrapping her fingers around the antenna on that block move.
So now Louisville 6 points away, and that one kills the momentum that SMU was attempting to build. They go to the freshman here offensively, and she atones for that call and gets a kill. Kennedy Rogers into double figures.
I tell you, I think there has to be double digits of those shots tonight. High off the block, but then either a tip or off the block that lands almost directly right behind the block.
She had 12 kills against UTEP in early September, but this certainly the most significant contribution she's made this season, the true freshman. And it's another point to SMU on a block as the Mustangs rally in the 5th, even with the call against them.
Yeah, so this has been the play set for the last 2 rotations. So Cabello's running an outside and Cressy behind on the right side. She's forcing Onyanwu to make a decision, but Onyanwu has made the decision to block the slide every single time. In the last play, she left Chicoine one-on-one with Averi Carlson, so I'm surprised that it didn't go to Chicoine a little bit sooner.
And Krista Wilburn with a kill to pull SMU to within 2. And Louisville takes a timeout. There is no
really well, evenly matched teams here tonight.
It's still Louisville by 2. Make it by 3. Chloe Chicoine out of the timeout, hammers that ball to extend the Louisville advantage.
So there's that system we're looking for. You send Cressy behind, force Onyanwu to take Cressy behind, and you leave Chicoine outside one-on-one with Averi Carlson. I would take my odds on that in this game to put Chicoine one-on-one in that situation any day.
Molly Wilson. Wilburn sent back. Jones denied. And they go to her again. Long, aiming for the back corner. Too much power from Malaya Jones, although SMU might just challenge this.
So
everyone
many
in blue
good
on the
plays.
floor looking to their coach.
Yeah, looking. I saw no touch and that ball was not inbound. So, but great block touch out here to start that rally by Cabello and Sherman.
And in the end, Molly Wilson gives the point back with a service error. And that's another area on the stat sheet that has a sized advantage.
So if you're looking at just matchup, nothing about ability, anything like that matchup, this should be a side out situation for Louisville.
They go to Sherman. Rogers laying out for that ball. And Chicoine just doing anything she can from a very tight angle to get it over. Can't do it. And SMU gets the point. And it is not a side out for Louisville.
It's not a side out. Opportunity here to reset. And the only reason I say that, front row setter has nothing to do with Averi Carlson, just in general. You have a setter front row, you want to take advantage of that. You have a freshman on the outside. And unfortunately, a misserved by SMU.
Something they can seldom afford this late.
And I think, you know, look what that misserve does. It puts Blackshear back in the game. So you would like to keep her on the sideline as long as possible.
Newsom. Well met by Louisville at the net. Again, Blackshear keeps it alive, but too many touches for her.
Tough play, good fast swing, just a double contact by Blackshear trying to keep that ball alive.
Chicoine. Jones.
You know, that's a great swing by Jones there just to finish the play. This is, you can feel the temperature of the arena really elevating right now, and crowd's getting a little bit louder and getting into it a little bit more, but the focus on each side, you can tell that we're ending into this fifth set.
That was in. Somehow from Chloe Chicoine with two hands to the back corner. And a good call and a vital point for Louisville.
And we're at 13. So 13-11 with Chicoine, a very good server. Been going a lot of float serve today, so I imagine that's what we're gonna see.
Jones. Peterson. Blocked.
I think that's a great out-of-system set there. I like that out-of-system set, but even more so, one thing that we haven't mentioned at all, Wilburn has really been passing well today. We didn't see that pass right there, but out of the serve receive, she's been passing really well and allowing her team some extra opportunities to swing.
Blackshear off the hand of Wilburn, and Louisville a point away. They've not lost here for a very long time. 2 losses since 2020 in what is their true home. SMU stays alive. Jones tooling the block.
And you look at the front row that Cabello has right here for one side out. Peterson, Cressy, and Blackshear. So keeping it simple, but trying to create some disruption and get someone a one-on-one.
Cabello to Blackshear. Schran gets to it. Jones nails it to the back line. Timeout Louisville, tied at 14. The Cardinals have... It remains to be seen how serious the injury is with Notre Dame to come on Sunday for SMU. Here's Cressy out of the timeout. Rogers. Blackshear. And Jones. Neither team giving an inch. Peterson. And Jones overhits it. The ball hung in the air for an eternity. And she couldn't do anything with it, and Louisville a point away from closing it out.
Yeah, the ball control in that series was incredible. Chicoine's serve-receive pass was money. I think SMU just made a really great dig off Cressy's slide set, and then you could see in transition, Peterson steps up and puts the ball again right on top of Cabello's head. Beautiful ball control, that volley.
Kenny serves. Jones off the hands of the Cardinals to keep SMU alive. And those folks in blue in the rafters here at L&N Federal Credit Union Arena have been sweating it out like us. Peterson.
Yeah, that's the right set immediately. As soon as Cabello sent that ball out and knew that was the right set, you see Anyanwu take a little bit of a shade to Cressy, and Cabello goes long distance cross court to Peterson, and just a beautiful execution by Peterson. I really think attacking the middle back and forcing SMU's outsides to play a lot of defense is critical, so that shot was beautiful.
Match point as Peterson serves. Anyanwu off the Louisville block, and SMU will not quit.
This would be a great rotation for Louisville to side out on and be able to go serve and block in defense.
Rogers
against this SMU front row.
Chicoine. Everyone on their feet at L&N Federal Credit Union Arena. They've gotten all that they paid for tonight, and then some. Anyanwu again, tooling the block to keep SMU going.
Such a great swing. I don't even know. Louisville was prepared for it, sent two blockers her way, and she still scores. Really smart swing. So one more rotation, too, before Jones comes front row.
Batenhorst serves here for the Mustangs. Deadlocked at 17. Chicoine blocked by SMU. Carlson and Newsom combining.
That's a tough play, so Cabello keeps Sherman in front there. So SMU's block, you could see Wilburn was almost all the way over, could almost triple block on Chicoine had she chosen, but she kept all the attackers in front, so the block was able to shift over and two blockers in front of Chloe's face.
Chicoine, was it touched? It wasn't! And SMU wins. But wait, Dan Meske surely will challenge, and he does.
Louisville is challenging block touch.
Even if Meske didn't believe that it was touched, he's obligated to challenge here to keep this going.
Yeah, absolutely. This one's going to be a tough one.
Looking for a finger to bend backward, and again, it's a matter of evidence. It's just difficult to see. It's the hands of Newsom going up for it against Chicoine.
Yeah, we almost need that other view from behind the the block. I can't tell. It's impossible for us to see there out of those quick views that we got.
If the call stands or is confirmed, SMU will pull off a road victory against the top 5 Louisville team that hasn't lost here in years. And
without one of their stars, I think their response has really been impressive when you have a player like Livings take so many swings for this team and to be out for a majority of the match. It's been an impressive response by them.
Here's the call.
After review, there was no block touch, SMU point.
SMU point and an SMU victory in a top 10 showdown. Sam Erger and her Mustangs with guts and guile on the road win a 5-set